All right, there is Education Cabinet Secretary Jacob Kaimenye just confirming that some schools have indeed been closed down in the county, Garissa County, because of recent insecurity. Dennis Onsarigo, who knows far too well about that region, now joins us in studio to bring us a clear view of what's happening. Let's begin with what has just happened. The National Police Service saying that not a single police officer was killed, but earlier reports saying or seeming to suggest that quite a number of them might have died. Where would this miscommunication occur?
The information we got in the morning from police sources was that more than 20 policemen had died, had been feared dead in this attack. And remember that some 4 policemen had escaped from the scene. They're the ones who relayed this information. So hours later, when we got in touch with the police spokesman, Mr. Kinoti, he confirmed again to the media that they cannot account for 13 policemen.
Right.
Yes, that was much later. And then shortly after, they sent another statement saying there's no single policeman who has been killed. Only 5 have been injured. In fact, 3 of them critically, 2 escaped with minor injuries. That is the latest we have. But the devil remains in the details, because senior cops in the National Police Service say that they might have come across bodies in that region. But as we speak now, our report is on the way there. They have stopped at some point. But again, the deputy county commander of Garissa says 1 person has died. So this kind of information coming from the National Police Service and again coming from the county level, the devil, as I said, remains in the detail. Okay,
but I mean, regardless of whether anyone has indeed lost their life in this attack, it was an attack, and it was an attack on a very critical installation, the police. It's not the first time we're seeing this, so what gives?
The signs were there, Edith, from the last 4 days. I think there was a tweet from the IG, Mr. Boynet, saying Al-Shabaab were trying to ambush and harass locals there in search of water and food, but they were repulsed. But what the National Police Service is not saying, how many of these Al-Shabaab fellas were killed or injured in that ambush. And 4 days later, this happens again. So there seems according to police sources here, there seems to be a disconnect between the kind of intelligence that is coming all the way from Nairobi for the National Intelligence Service down to the ground, or the intelligence coming from the ground to the National Police Service to allow them to plan and deploy troops. And that is the problem we're facing in Garissa at the moment.
Okay, but then of course this attack is coming just 24 hours after another car was ambushed in Fafi. Are these two related, or do we think that it's just a consistent attack on our police service?
They could be related, and according to social media, some pictures that were posted there by fellas who say they are the deranged animals from across Somalia, Al-Shabaab, they did come to some village somewhere near Fafi again, where they lectured people there and even hoisted a flag at a police station and then left. So were there signs? Yes. Are they the same people? Maybe. But again, with the kind of scanty information coming from the National Police Service and the county level, chances are that we might be lost in this miscommunication coming all the way. And remember, the Presidential Strategic Communication Unit just sent us a tweet a few minutes ago condoling with family members, and minutes later withdrew it. Again, that is the presidency talking, so you don't know. We are stuck somewhere as media. You can't point your finger and say, do we have an attack ongoing there? Was it there? Was it repulsed by security forces or something like that? Yes.
Okay. And I mean, each time any of these attacks happens, be it in a church, a police station, we're constantly looking at the location. Is there anything in Yumbis that would make it such a vulnerable place, and especially leading into Fafi as well?
When you look at Kapedo, when you look at Kapedo and Yumbis now in Garissa, these are far-flung areas. It has taken our report, I think, 1 hour 30 minutes to get to some point to try and get in communication with us. So these are far-flung areas, and sometimes information is hard to come by. And again, even deploying policemen with the kind of vehicles they use on the ground, they will tell you in confidence that we are not well equipped to go to these areas. They can have as many vehicles to transport them, but as long as these vehicles are not fitted with equipment to allow them move freely or in a strategic way and without information, it makes it very difficult. So indeed, it is a security-prone area. It is still ongoing. and something has to give. I don't know what has to give, but something has to give.
Well, Dennis Onsarigo just giving us insight into the very latest incident happening from Garissa, where the National Police Service have since changed the story, saying that not a single police officer has been killed in an attack that occurred in Yumbis, as Dennis Onsarigo referred to it, a very far-flung area in Garissa County. There were reports earlier that about 20 police officers had died in that ambush, but that has since been refuted. And now the report is that 3 police officers were critically wounded and 2 others escaped with minor injuries. We're definitely keeping a close eye on that story, and we'll be giving you the information as and when it gets to us. We're trying to see the pictures from that region just so that we can understand. Earlier on, we did give you a map pinpointing the exact location of Yumbis, but we've received some still photographs from that area, and these are the ones that we have for you and that we're going to be relaying in your screen in just a short while. Here they are. All right, that Yumbis attack, as we wait for those pictures, just to update you that that attack occurred when a police convoy of 5 vehicles destroyed in the ambush came under fire. Of course, it's happening just 24 hours after another car came under ambush in Fafi area. The Al-Shabaab had warned of the attacks in the region last week, which security apparatus dismissed as baseless and alarming. And those still photographs, as we promised you earlier, coming in from Yumbis area in Garissa County. So the pictures you're seeing on your screen giving you a better perspective of just what the region looks like. Not saying much in way of where it is located, but we do know it's in Garissa County. Extremely difficult to reach. As Dennis Onsarigo was saying earlier, it's taken our reporter about 3 hours to even get to a point where we can communicate with him. But those pictures that you're seeing giving a little view, a little perspective as to just what may have happened when that car was ambushed by what we suspect to be Al-Shabaab militants from across the border.